Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have 3 crockpot recipes for you. Today is also a collaboration with my new friend Tiffany over at Small Town 6. So once you get finished with my video, head on down to hers in the description and she has some crockpot inspiration for you as well. And if you are coming over here from Tiffanys Channel, welcome. Glad to have you, and I would love it if you decided to join my YouTube family, and let's get cooking. First, I'm making an Italian meatball soup, which was my personal favorite of the week. I have just diced up 3 medium carrots, 2 ribs of celery, and an onion, and I'm topping that with some Italian seasoning, black pepper, a bay leaf, beef broth, Italian meatballs, 2 cups of water, 2 cans of diced tomatoes with Italian seasonings. I only had 1 dice, and so I used a can that was also it was stewed canned tomatoes, but it was also Italian, and I didn't have any beef broth, so you saw me just a second ago throwing in some beef bouillon, and I'm just going to be putting in 6 cups of water on top of this, and I don't remember if I said it already, but 5 ounces of a dry red wine as well. And you're going to cover this and cook it on low for 6 hours. And per usual, I will have the links with the ingredients and all that stuff down below. And once that is finished cooking, you're going to add in your pasta and baby spinach and then cover it and cook it for about another 30 minutes. Of course, it didn't take long for the spinach to wilt, and I think it was right at 30 minutes and the pasta was done. And I just served this with some Parmesan cheese on top. I have never had a soup with red wine in it, and it really gave it some awesome flavor. If you're going to try anything out of this video, I highly suggest this one. And now I'm going to be throwing a roast in my slow cooker. I know typically browning it would make it even better, but it was 6 a.m. My kids were still asleep at this point, and I was just not feeling it. And then 4 cups of beef broth, and I didn't have a beef gravy packet, so I had cans of these beef gravy that I've had for a while, so I threw that in there. And some tomato paste. You'll see this ended up being, I swear, almost like a beef stew, but it was so good. And I used 3 tablespoons of ranch seasoning and a homemade Italian dressing seasoning mix, which I will have that down below. I didn't have a packet, and so I looked it up and found one, and I had all the seasonings for it. So I ended up doing that, and I think it was like 3 or 4. I can't remember now. It was like 3 or 4 russet potatoes, and just cut them up fairly big, diced up an onion and carrots pretty big as well, and just cooked it low and slow all day long. I think it was like 10 hours, and it was so good. This was my second favorite. These are in order, and it was not intentional, but this was amazing. And now I'm going to be making a chicken enchilada casserole. It said 1.5 cups of chicken, and anything more than that would be too dry. So I put in 2 frozen chicken breasts that I had in the freezer and a 28-ounce can of the red enchilada sauce, or 3 cans like I did because it was substituted that way. And that's it, and you cover it on, cook it on low for 6 hours. At this point right here, I would add, or even before you cook the chicken, I would add some taco seasoning or something like that. It definitely needed more seasoning. But then I'm cutting up 10 to 12 corn tortillas, and I'm going to mix that around. I'm the only one in my family that likes olives, so I think mine was really pretty. I mean, it was pretty good with the olives. It gave it like some texture and stuff as well, but like without the olives, it was almost just kind of too mushy. You'll see what I mean. I'm not really sure how you fix that, but and then I just put in half of the cheese and mixed it around with the corn tortillas, the olives, And I decided to top my little side with some more olives, and I'm topping it with cheese, and you're going to cover it and cook it for 1 more hour. Like I said, this wasn't bad. It just needed to be doctored up just a little bit. Like, I like to play around with this one, and this is kind of like a base, but put some sour cream on it, and it was pretty good. And this is going to conclude this video. I appreciate all of you watching, and be sure to like this video and leave me a comment down below of your favorite crock pot meal.